Welcome back here once again, everyone. So it seems with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 set to come out later this year, at least one actor is glad to be done with it. Because, let's be honest here, the Phase 4 of the MCU has been a complete and utter disaster. It was terrible. Practically everything that they put up, not practically, pretty much everything that they put on in Phase 4 was terrible. You could say that Spider-Man was good, but that's mostly Sony. So we'll give that a pass. Okay, Spider-Man is the only exception, but everything else was just rubbish. Some of the visuals and some of them were okay, but everything else was just pure rubbish. That's the only way to look at it. Guardians of the Galaxy has been, it was fun. The first movie was really entertaining. The second one came out. They were in the Avengers movies. All of these things. Well, the last two Avengers movies. So, it happened. But let's get into this article here from Bombing Into Comics, and you'll understand why somebody's leaving and my thoughts on it and all of that. Dave Bautista confirms exit from Guardians of the Galaxy's Drax. It's a silly performance and I want to do more dramatic stuff. I think ain't it. Actor Dave Bautista, who has played Drax the Destroyer in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, confirmed he will no longer be playing the role following the release of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Speaking with GQ about his acting career, Bautista stated, "I'm so grateful for Drax, I love him, but there's a relief that it's over." He added, "It wasn't all pleasant, it was hard playing that role, the makeup process was beating me down, and I just don't know if I want Drax to be my legacy. It's a silly performance and I want to do more dramatic stuff." Now let me stop there for a moment. Hold up there for a moment. I'm sorry to tell you this, Dave Bautista, but I think Drax is really going to be your legacy, whether you like it or not. It's the most famous role that anybody will know you for playing at all. And I liked Drax, but I find the silliness was kind of amusing. I think, no, I say that. But keep in mind, I've spoken before, and I completely 100% agree with what I said before, that, they have underutilized all of these characters, because Drax the Destroyer was not the way, the Drax the Destroyer from the MCU is not the way Drax the Destroyer was supposed to be done in Marvel Comics. They did not create him at all. Drax was originally created by Thanos' father to kill Thanos. He's supposed to be skilled and badass enough to do it. Now, in the MCU, they put out Drax as being a gladiator. His family got killed and he wanted revenge. But then at some point, they just kind of forgot about that and started turning it into this long-running joke. And don't get me wrong, I find the way Drax was doing it, was actually really funny. He was kind of funny and all that thing, but they really underutilized the character. You could have still made him a badass and all this, and still had some moments of humor to tie it together. And it would have been more of a whole dramatic thing about it. But you didn't. You made the character into a laughing stock. And clearly Dave Bautista is sick of it. Dave Bautista was in that whole Netflix zombie movie thing. He wasn't very good in that. He was also in Doom. Yeah, he was kind of there, not really any big. But nothing against the guy. He's just not such a fantastic actor. Or maybe he hasn't gotten a role where he could be, really show his dramatic role, that kind of thing. Maybe, but honestly speaking, he's going to be remembered most for playing Drax. That's really going to be his legacy. Whether he likes it or not, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. The more dramatic stuff appears to be work with director Denis Villeneuve, I guess it is. Bautista indicated he would work for the director for free, telling the Hulk that if I could be in number one on the call sheet with Denis, I would do it for everything free. I think that's how I could find out how good I could be. He brings out the best in me. He sees me in a different light. He sees the performer that I want to be. That might be how I solve the puzzle. Yeah, like that particular picture of him here from Doom. So yeah, right. Bautista previously indicated that Marvel Studios saw no value in either him or the character of Drax back in 2019. In response to an article from GQ South Africa reporting on Bautista's desire to play Clayface in his standalone film, the actor tweeted, "Point is, I freaking love comic book characters and I want a standalone. Marvel Studios doesn't see worth in Drax or possibly myself or both, but I'm not giving up." He added, "I missed out on a DC project because of scheduling conflicts, but hopefully there's other characters and opportunities." Yeah, he could very well play another comic book role or something, but again, as I say, the people who are running these comic book movies and everything right now don't want these things. They want to put out absolute another rubbish and act like you're supposed to somehow love it. And when it fails miserably, they have a problem with it. When he said that, they saw no value in that, had they actually pursued, take a word is that, had they gone along and actually introduced Adam Warlock earlier, you would have gotten a chance to really do a Drax story in it, which would have actually been more dramatic and built up the character. But they didn't do that. And this is one of the problems that they have. And now they're looking to introduce Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and it doesn't work. I've done a video on it. Even younger people want to say it doesn't work. But this is what they're doing. In fact, Bautista went so far as to claim he would step out of the role of Drax in order to get a Drax solo film off the ground. He tweeted, "Drax is funny as hell. He's also the Destroyer, which is terrifying as hell. His wife and daughter were murdered. He mourns them and craves revenge. No movie there at all. I literally would step out of this effing role to see that movie, which most likely would get it made." But yeah, and the other thing, had they actually followed it, you understand me? You would have gotten that, because if you had done it the way it's supposed to, because I said, Drax was created to destroy Thanos. Even if you go with just the MCU version alone, and like he says here, Drax is funny. He's the Destroyer. He's terrifying as hell. His wife and daughter were murdered. He mourns them. He craves revenge. You have so much there to make a movie, but no. All you wanted to do was just have Drax be in the Guardians of the Galaxy and tell a running joke now and again. The MCU shot themselves in the foot. However, he went on to note he did not plan on stepping out of the role at this time, right? So he's not going on all of that. But the actor had previously told Ellen DeGeneres that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 would be his final film as Drax. He told her, it's weird because when I said it recently because I've been doing interviews and talking a lot about Guardians, and I didn't think it was going to be news because I figured everybody assumed that this is how this works. We work in trilogies, and James Gunn has already announced that it's his last film, and when James is done, I'm done. He has said, James Gunn is now over at DC, so yeah, that's pretty much it. He also added, "And I'm going to be 54 years old by the time Guardians 3 comes out, and just like the shitless thing, it's getting harder and harder for me. The journey has come full circle, and I'm just ready to kind of step aside and wrap it up," he concluded. Bautista played Drax in the original Guardians of the Galaxy film and went on to reprise the role in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Thor Love and Thunder, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. He concludes his role as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is due to hit theaters on May 5th, 2023. Yeah. So, Dave Bautista has had enough of it. He's ready to call it quits. Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be his last outing as Drax. Again, as I said, had they really flushed out Drax, we could have gotten a solo Drax movie, but they didn't. But he's had enough and he's done. I think he's done really good work for the time that he's done it, and he's going to move on. What Marvel is going to do next? Well, they have their all ready to go MCU slate primed and prepped to head out there, so we will see. We shall see. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, try to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.